Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dawn. How are you this evening? Nice to see you. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's a wonderful evening in the city. It's the temperature is about 12 degrees. It's not warm at all over here. So I hope you're warmer. I'm sure you're warmer than us. So anyway, so let's see what we're doing. What did you say? I don't read that. Glasses. Doing well, thank you. Thank you. See, I need glasses for simple things like that. I was supposed to go tomorrow to get fitted for contacts and I changed my mind. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for coming. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I miss seeing you. You know, coach, we don't need to coach now, Ryan. I notice, I look at your stuff and you're on your way. Your success is yours, so you don't need your old coach anymore, or your old mentor anymore. I can tell that. So you're doing well and you're dropping in. So that's really nice. I really appreciate that. And thank you for doing that. Hi, Christina. How are you guys doing this evening? Tonight you guys saw the thing I sent out, right? So my three main thing. I have to give them a couple others a few moments to come in, so I don't end up repeating myself. So hello, how are you? I have to put my glasses on, and the lights, of course, is reflecting in it. Hi, Fushan. Hi, Jamich. How are you guys? It's good to see you again. It's blessed to be part of this. Who is that? Oh, hi, Ryan. I am so happy. I'm so happy because you are so important. You are one of the foundations of what I'm doing today. And I always remember that. I will remember you, Ryan. And because of you, I am doing so much more coaching than I did at the time I coached you and a few others. And I coached you, thanks, Dawn, and I coached you for hours and hours in this kitchen. In maybe about the same spot, but the kitchen didn't look the same. It doesn't look the same. It's really different now. But we spent a lot of days going through stuff, and you recommended so many people to me. It has been a pleasure. And people that I coached without getting paid for doing that. And you guys can laugh at Ryan. When Ryan came to see me, he said to me, why don't you charge? Because Ryan is an accountant. So you know what? He figured we have to charge. And I was explaining to him why we didn't. And he got the hang of it. And he understood my reason for not charging at the time. Hi, Donato. How are you? So Ryan was one of the first guys that I coached. He came to me. He was recommended by somebody, and the first day Ryan saw me, he told me I should be charging. But we had a lot of amazing mentor coaching sessions with Ryan, and he recommended others to him that went on and did fabulous, like his cousin Melford, and so many other people. Hi, Ali, how are you? So it's been a pleasure seeing Ryan there. Ryan is like the person that I helped. I remember it was so important, and Ryan was he so wanted to make a difference to what he was doing. And today when I look at his website and when I look at all the journeys he went through, it really humbles me a lot to see that when Ryan first came to see me, we had to get so much done, and it was amazing to do that. And today Ryan is a big time, accountant. He has his tax thing and he's seeing so many clients, and it's really nice. It's really a pleasure when you serve and you help somebody to do good. The pleasure though is even stronger when that person drops back in to say hi. And there's Ryan coming to my lives. He's there in the morning and he comes now at night. And Ryan, I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Because the best thing about mentoring and coaching is that the people come back to you. And that is why I always say the Bible is the instructions before we leave planet Earth. Because one of the things you have to remember is that when Jesus healed 10 lepers, only one came back to say hello and to say thank you. So to see Ryan here today, Ryan Elliott Professional Service there today, it's really humbling, because amongst all the people you always help, not everybody can turn back. I'm fortunate though, a lot of people come back to say hi. and to say thank you and to refer and to reference me. Even when I look at their lives, they'll say, I learned that, Lisa does that, Kathleen. There are numerous people. But Ryan came to me, somebody recommended him, I took him on, and we did so amazingly. So it's such a pleasure for me to have you here tonight, Ryan, and all the times you come in, because it gives me validation that what I did was good. Because if it wasn't good, Ryan, you wouldn't be here. And that alone. So when we are coaching, because there's a lot of people here who strive to be coaches and mentor, always leave a mark on that person that they come back to see you. And something else I have to say thank you for is that you guys knew I went to do that coaching, coaching mentoring course, proof, whatever it was, at a women's prison in Knoxville, Tennessee. I did it online, of course. And they had 5 or 6 girls to come, and 5 of them had to be locked in their room because they didn't follow the protocol. So one young lady was there, 16, and about 6 or 7 of those correctional officers all came to do the course. And it was so amazing. To see this young lady, and thanks Yoko, to see this young lady and to 16, and where she was at 16, it really touched my heart, because at 16 I was entering university. I was entering Cambridge at 16. So it really, and then I have 2 daughters, so I looked at 16 and I'm thinking, wow. And I couldn't say anything else, and I said, what can I offer her? So of course, being me, I prayed with her. I asked her if it was okay for us to say a prayer. And we did say a prayer, and then we started. And then she wrote me a little note, which I posted on Movement Makers, and a lot of you said something really nice. Hi Marina, and a lot of you commented, talked about it, and I really appreciate you taking the time to go in and make a comment. So when something touches your heart and your soul, you shouldn't only send a heart or put a little thing there. That is not enough. It's really touching to say something, because everything I do is to motivate you, to enlighten you, to educate you, and to encourage you. So this is why tonight I chose enlightenment. Enlightenment gives life to your mission. That's what I said to you today. So without much ado, and no more tears, and no more emotion in that, enlightenment gives life to your mission. You might have a mission, like Ryan had a mission. A lot of people, hi TD, had missions, and when they came to me, they had a mission, but the mission was covered under something. I know Ryan's mission was in his heart and his soul. This man wanted so much to be a chartered accountant, and there were so many obstacles at the time, but he was brilliant. And so brilliant alone wasn't enough. I had to find other ways to inspire Ryan, and I know he's doing fabulous. And he never gave up. So that is one of the reasons, not because of Ryan, I started this, but I want you guys to know that inspiration is what will drive your mission. We all have a mission, and there's always somebody that will inspire you. Now, when you have your business and you start your journey, do not be afraid to hire somebody that is smarter than you. Do not always have people working for you that you have to constantly mentor to do better. A friend of mine told me earlier this evening, Dale Carnegie has his book, and I know about it, and he talked about getting the best people to be with you, the smarter than you, the more brilliant ones than you. So you are the leader, so you can drive the mission. So you have to drive the mission. You cannot be doing and constantly coaching the little ones behind you because they're broken, or they're not good enough, or they have something and you know you are constant, and I help them and say, I move this person and I help. That is not enough. You have to have people behind you that will inspire you to push further. So we go back to Henry Ford. He said to them when they, you know how people can be, when you don't have the book education, sometimes they question you. And that's what they did with him. They sat him in front of them, and they all stayed there, and they started asking him questions about intellectual questions, things that they knew he didn't know for sure, because he only had a grade 4 education. But he was inspired to have an 8-cylinder engine be built in one block. I know a lot about that because I'm surrounded in my family by engineers and architects and whatever. So I know what an 8-cylinder engine looks like, because then the trucks on the plantation and then the jeeps and whatever we rode on. But they questioned him. They were trying to belittle him because of his small education. And then he stood up. He was inspired because he had a mission. And he said to them, I don't need to know these answers that you're telling me that I need to know. You're judging me by questions that you want answers to. Yet, on my desk, I have a machine that when I press a button, there are people on the other end of the button that I pay to give me those answers. So he deflated them. He took away their power. He showed them who really had power. You with your degree, or me with my grade 4 education and my wonderful inspiration. So do not be scared of asking or employing people that are more brilliant than you. They were trained to do something. And you are above them. You are the hiring person. It's your company. You are in charge. You pay them to do for you what you don't want to do or what you're not capable of doing. You pay them to get that. So your inspiration will drive your mission. You're inspired to do those things. I come here to you to tell you today, do not be afraid to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you in your business. They too are going to drive your business because you can compensate them by paying them a salary. If they no longer want to work for you, they're free to go. There's always somebody at the end of the rope coming up behind them. So, your inspiration is what inspired you to move towards that mission you have, what you want to do, what it is you really, really want to do. I stand here all the time and I tell you guys, do not look at the how. The how is the person you hire. They come with the how. Just like Henry Ford found out. When he pressed that button, they came with the how. This is what you have to say. This is how you should say. He didn't have to bother with the how. He had to bother with the inspiration of knowing what it is he wants to do. So he was inspired to do his 8-cylinder engine. He couldn't do it himself. He was not an engineer. But he knew somewhere that inspiration drove his mission to get those cars on the road that we so enjoy today. The city in which we live, most older cities like New York and Chicago, Toronto and Montreal, the powers that be at the time did not believe that the car, the vehicle, the motor vehicle would take over the horse and buggy. And London, England too, when these places and Paris were built, if you look at the older parts of the cities in which you live, you will see that the houses are really close together, especially in the inner city. And there is a lane at the back. And that was poor thinking, no inspiration. They built those lanes at the back so the horse and buggy could park in the back. And that's what these garages at the back on that lane was made for. And that's why city houses has no parking. But there's always a lane you can cut through at the back of these houses. And there are garages or structures there that the horse and buggy went in. They weren't inspired. They weren't thinking. They had a closed mind. They never believed that the car was going to take over the world. To the point where today it actually will drive itself. It's a little bit shaky there and there, but it drives itself. So inspiration drives your mission. Don't be afraid to be inspired. Don't be afraid to find things that you're good, and don't be afraid to ask. So Dawn said that student is still with me, and I'm sure she'll remember your meeting fondly, even like she's special since she was the only one to get to meet you that day. Thank you. Hi, Susie. So your mission is nothing without inspiration. If you're not inspired, you will leave a legacy behind that is a lot smaller than the legacy you could have or the mark you could have made in the world. Do not be afraid to hire intelligent people. Do not be afraid to be inspired by those that are more intelligent than you. Henry Ford did not know how to put that engine together, but he knew he wanted it. He knew he had to have it. And this was his word, I will have it. These are powerful words. But he couldn't make it. But as he said, I have men at the end of that button. When I press that button, they will give me the answer. And that is what we have to do when we start our business. Hire people that are better than you at what you cannot do. Don't take people to be constantly saying, oh, I'm coaching John, he's really, when I met him, he was really weak, and then John is still really weak. 10 years later, John is weak. Fill your surrounding with people. Don't be afraid to share. If somebody comes and they copy you and they go out and do the business like you do, they're not your competitor. Your competitor is somebody that's doing some other kind of business completely. That is what I was taught by my parents. They said, the man that just built the bakery down the street is not our competitor. She said, our competitor is the people that don't eat bread. We need to get them to eat bread. We need to get them to come to the shop and buy not only bread, but everything else. So the person who takes your idea and goes and uses it and make it bigger and better than you, it's okay. Because they are not your competitor. They have just opened a door for you. And do not be afraid to give people a chance. Do not be afraid to teach and to help. And don't always keep the lowest educated people around you. Because making yourself look bigger is not good enough. You need to thrive. And when you're thriving, you need to take the boat with you and fill it up with as many people as you can. So, inspiration is what drives your mission. Who is to inspire you? You don't know. It could be a child that says something. Keep your ear to the ground. Listen. Listen to what is happening around you. Don't be so obsessed with just talking and texting while you're supposed to be listening. Listen, you came, you paid, you're supposed to listen. Man, for goodness sake, pay attention and listen to what's going on around you. That's how we all learn. We learn by what we hear. We learn by what we see and what we comprehend. And that is what we have to do. I know you guys are feeding me stuff, so I have to stop and read it. Except all hello, how are you? All of your wonderful ladies. This is so on point today. I just asked someone to help me with my graphic design. Thanks, Christina. Don't be afraid of others' success. No, don't be afraid. You have... Annika, I waved at you. Hi. Tell us about your dress. Tessa, who is this person? I'm glad she had an opportunity to feel that way. Thank you, Dawn. Susie. Anyway, never mind my dress. I'll talk about my dress later. Right now, I am fired up and ready to go on inspiration. Because my job is to inspire you, to get you to do better. I'm going to have some water. I have a decent cup tonight, not a big one. Yes. So, when you have an inspiration towards your mission, in that inspiration, there will be ideas. There will be thoughts. There will be a who. And you don't have the how. But the who will give you the how. Don't be afraid to bring in a smarter who. Like, I know absolutely nothing about technology. And I know more than last year at the same time, but not enough to go where I want to go. Not nearly enough. I want to rock the world. I want to inspire more than all of you. I want somebody to say, she inspired me. She taught me this. She made me try this. She pushed me a little bit further. Leave your mark that somebody will turn back. As I said to you, I come from a family that left their mark. When my mom died, we were at the cemetery. The funeral was at 4, and the sun sets down there around 6:30. We are still there. People are telling us about what she did for them, how she inspired them, how she encouraged them to buy. They were renting houses from her, and she said, no, let's go to the credit union. Let the nuns show you how to save money so you can buy a house. And these people they came from nowhere. And they couldn't go to the plantation. They stopped us at the cemetery and they talked and talked. So much so one of our cousins came and said, somebody has to go to the plantation. There's people going there, none of you are here. So we had to split to go. So because they left a record, they left something behind. My father's funeral was a joke. It was funny. All of a sudden, this man appeared in front of the hearse and he has a big branch from a tree and he's waving it and they're going to the church. And my brothers got all upset and the man was not nicely dressed. It was just somebody, you know. And they're rushing to get him out. And I said, no, leave him. Leave him alone, because in life, Daddy attracted everybody from every step of life. That person could have been somebody that he hired years ago to dig one of his foundations for the houses he was building. You don't know. Let him do his thing. So you have to leave your mark, that when the time comes for your celebration of life, they'll say, she came, she conquered. She came and she taught. He came and he left me. I am who I am today because that person inspired me. It's no point we rush to succeed and we don't inspire somebody behind us to try something. Each time we do something, we should leave a little bit of inspiration. We should leave a little bit of us with everybody we encounter so that they will think twice. Don't ever be afraid to give what you know. Don't ever be afraid to share knowledge, because the more you share this knowledge, the more concrete it becomes in you, the more it stays with you, and it allows you to get an opportunity to expand. So inspiration drives your mission, and don't forget that. Hold on to it, to being inspired. When you see inspiration coming, bow and say thank you, because without that inspiration you will not be where you are today. None of us. Without acknowledging inspiration when it comes, we will not be where we are. And inspiration doesn't come always from the high and the mighty. Inspiration comes from the least among us. Inspiration comes when you least expect. And the person that inspires you and say, of course you can. You have the audacity to try. And that person tells you, yes, you can. Believe them. Those that will tell you, no, you can't, ignore them. But the most important thing is to pay attention and keep your ear to the ground. Listen. Your inspiration is there, but you need to be in the moment. You need to listen. If you went somewhere to study, or you go to a place and you have to write notes, then write notes. But what I know, and what I know for sure, while you're so busy texting, something is said you cannot pick up. This multitasking is rubbish. Multitasking does not make you brilliant. It's absolute rubbish. Because while you're busy, something is said that you so needed. But that passed. That chance just passed. And you didn't capture it. Because you were so busy being social. There is a time to be social. But when you pay money, and you go somewhere to study, and you go to a lecture, listen. Take the notes of what the person is saying. Your thoughts and your things, save it for the end. You always know when the end is coming. And that's when you do that. So inspiration is what you look for. If you're going somewhere to learn, you want to be inspired. But if you pay and you're neglecting being inspired, you're not listening, your ears is not to the ground, you're not hearing the thunder, you're not hearing the secret, the little clip that was just given, that tiny little pearl that was just given, that tiny little thing, the nugget, the little tiny diamond has value, and you missed it. Never to come back again, because the time has passed. Time is not renewable. You cannot buy it again. It doesn't come back your way. It passes your way just once, just like life. We pass through this circle of life once, and we cannot go back and redo this. There's no redo. So when you are placed in a situation where you come to learn, listen. Please pay attention to your environment. Pay attention. If you have paid money, then listen, chatting away and jumping up and down like a mad frog is not going to help you. And multitasking is a lot of rubbish. It is not made up for what they say it is. So tonight, I hope I stimulated you to just stay focused on what you want. I started off with Ryan. I told you about my journey with the young lady in Knoxville. And if I enlighten her, if at the end of her life, if there is one day in her life she stops and she says, I remember this lady told me how to save. That's what she wanted. And I really tried to make sure she understood it. And I realized maybe if I prayed with her, I would enlighten her. And I did that. And Ryan is just one of thousands of people I coach, and there wasn't always a price. My price came when Ryan brought me a plant. I still have the plant. And when I see that plant, I remember Ryan. And what I'm trying to say is those that came after Ryan that stimulate me. And if you're looking for somebody that got me into the 5 pillars of prosperity, it was Ryan. Ryan came for one thing and I realized he needed something else. I inspired him to go fetch it, and he did. When I see him and I see his picture, I feel like a proud mother, like I created this, which I didn't. But I know I had a tiny part to play. And that's what I'm saying to you guys today. Find out what it is that can inspire you to drive your mission to success. Do not play small. If you want big, send it out there. I want big. I want to continue doing this until the day I can't. And to do this better and bigger, I need to do this every day. I need to be focused on it. I need to pay attention to it. I need to keep my ear to the ground and see when somebody else inspires me. I'm inspired all the time. I'm inspired by many of you. Donato inspires me. Susie inspires me. The 2 Roses inspire me. Dawn inspires me. Debbie and all of you. And Christina inspires me. And Belinda, I could call it. Ali comes at that time. Ali lives in Iran, guys. And he shows up twice. That is inspiration. He's put in the time. So if at the end of his time with me, he comes out with something special that can improve his life, who can blame him? Who are going to look at it and say, that man used to come when it was time to go to sleep. Nina comes up from England and it's already 1 o'clock in the morning, yet she's there with us at 7. So look for the inspiration wherever it comes and take it. So this is what I want to say. Thank you for all of you, because you guys inspire me. If you are living in a country that is 13 hours ahead of me, and yet you take the time to spend 30 minutes with me, who am I not to put 30 minutes in you? So this is what we have to do. Each time you learn something, you're going to use it to better your life. And if you cannot use it to better your life, because when you better your life, you better somebody else's life, and then you can pass it on. This is what I heard. This is what I saw. And this is what somebody told me. You too can use it. And this is why I am here every night at 7 p.m. And every morning, come rain or shine, except Saturday and Sunday. I was told I have to reboot. The vessel needs to be filled. So I use that time to meditate and chat and have family and friends. They come sometimes, they never go home. There's a few of them that's been here since Saturday. And obviously they're still here. So the point of what I'm trying to say is that find your inspiration. That's the first thing. Keep your ear to the ground. That's where our inspiration is. That means you're listening. The third thing, do not be afraid to hire somebody that is smarter than you, because you're hiring them for a skill you do not have. Do not keep those you hire down. Enlighten them and push them ahead so they too can find their mission. And then you can be the inspiration. So when you inspire, you're the gas that starts the engine, and that's what you do. So I'm going to look at your comments, and if I need to touch on anything, or if you have a question or you have a statement, do this now. My dear Queen is there. Don't tell us about your... Okay, this dress thing, you're still into it, right? So I'll tell you about this dress. You guys know it's not really a dress. it's not really a dress. See? It's just a piece of fabric. And I took it and I cut it in a triangle. I hemmed it and I cut a piece and stitch up here. And then it has a top that goes beneath it. So the top is attached somewhere here and then it sits like this. So this is the top and that's it. So yes, and this fabric is all hand woven. It's a piece of fabric I found in there and I cut it. So it's really nice because you see how it is on the other side. So this is the right side. And sometimes I've been wild enough to use the opposite side because it's so creative. So thank you for asking. So that was it. They're full of positive energy. Thank you. Everybody has positive energy tonight. I hope you guys are flying and enjoying this. I hope you had fun with me this evening. The whole idea is to come here. Ryan, I'm sorry I called you out on the carpet, but I couldn't help it. It's so nice to do that to you. Jamichu Jalata. I wish I knew your names, all of you. Christina, and of course, British and Ryan, and who is that? It's good to see you. Who is that? Ryan, Christina, Ryan, all of you. Thank you, Donato. Thank you. You found out where the dress came from. It's a top, by the way. Rosita, I sent you a note. I haven't heard from you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming, each and every one of you. I love how you all talk to each other. It's such a nice thing. Hi, Marina. I hope you guys enjoy that. A yummy vegan. Join. Hello, yummy vegan. I hope you liked our chat tonight. This is what happens on 7 p.m. So now that you've talked to each other, I hope you guys have something nice to say at the end of this. So I am looking to see Queen Tessa in royal attire. Thanks, Ali. Isn't it time past your bedtime? So good. I'm glad she had her. Okay, that's great. I did that already. Guys, thank you so much. It is a wonderful evening. I like what Christina said. It was so important for the day. And she asked for help. Good, Christina. That's what you do. Don't ever hire somebody that is less than you in knowledge, because the thing is that you need it. Yoko said, I'm helping me in the English department. I know. I am all over the place. Coaching Susie, I know you'd love the outfit. Susie, I'll make you something crazy. Just watch. If you see the things I used to wear, you have no idea. I love colors and I love fooling around with fabric on my live. Oh, Yoko, that is so sweet. I've inspired you to dress better on your life. Put it out there. You have them in the wardrobe. When last, hi Rosie Rose, when last did you actually use them? That's what you have to remember. You haven't used those things. Tilly, awesome and inspiring. Thank you. And Papa P, of course, you're there as my adopted son. He's so cool. My adopted son is white and has red hair, guys. Can you imagine that? So thank you for coming, everybody. It has been an absolutely wonderful night. If you had more comments, I would stay longer with you. But since you haven't said anything else, I like how Yoko told Christiana, good for you that you hired somebody to help you. Is that I have somebody in mind that has to do a lot of work for me, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I know you love colors, Susie. We'll get together. We'll plan something that will be fabulous. So everybody, good night. I hate leaving you guys, but there's not much I can tell you. I'll be repeating myself unless you guys ask me some questions or you had made another comment that I can answer. I did that. I want a picture of you in that outfit. I'll take a picture. Here you go. You can take a screenshot. Take a picture in that outfit. Go right ahead. You want me to smile or not to smile? Take the glasses off. So here you go. I hope you got it. I will never take a picture in this outfit like this. I'll have to have my adopted son gave me a selfie stick because he said I travel all over the world, and he gave it to me for Christmas. You go all over the place and you have such beautiful sceneries and no pictures of yourself. So that's why he gave it to me. So I use it a lot. Good night, Dawn. I know you have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. When are we going to talk? Maybe later no, not tonight. Tomorrow is going to be a good day to chat. So we'll do that. So guys, good night and have a wonderful evening, all of you. And thank you so much, so many of you for coming. And thanks for all these lovely wishes on Movement Makers. And thanks for all what nice things that you talk about. I come to give you my heart every night. And I give it to you with a lot of love and passion. And I'll share with you what I know. It doesn't matter. I have no inhibitions, especially in fashion. So have a wonderful night and talk to you later. Bye-bye. Love you all.